Amanda with M.A.K.E Nevada, and today we are going to learn about pet CPR and first aid. So this is my little moose, and this is my stethoscope. Why can't I hear anything? Oh, wrong side. I must be using this wrong. Let me put it in this way. Oh, wow. Yeah. I never said I was an expert. Anyways, these are not expensive. You can pick one of these up and add it to your home first aid kit. And it's good to monitor if you have pets with heart issues. Anyways, so I'm also recording for M.A.K.E Alaska, so here we go. Hello, Amanda with M.A.K.E Alaska. I am not sharing my screen because this is mostly a paid course. If it was a free course, I would share the screen. I will go through the course with you, but if you want to see the whole thing, you got to pay for it. It's $25 through the American Red Cross, and the link is in this, and I will put the link in this. All right, so if you follow the link, you will, one moment, if you follow the link, it'll take you to a page that has an article that says the importance of pet certifications. Elevate your career as a dog walker or pet sitter. Anybody ever been a dog walker or pet sitter? I have twice. Once for a company in LA in the early 2000s. That was awesome. And then once when I briefly lived in England, I put signs up at the little library. I was in a little town, and I handed out flyers at like all the houses. And this was 2005, and I definitely remember I had one of the librarians, I think, took pity on me, this little American trying to make money in England, you know. So pets, the walking dogs. She had a rescued greyhound. It had been a racing dog, and they usually just put them down, but she got it through a nonprofit that would try to find them homes. The dog had never known what it was like to be a pet, so it was getting used to being a pet, and it had very strong prey drive, P-R-E, prey drive. Hello, everybody. So I had to really hold its leash tight, because if it saw a little bunny rabbit, and where I was living out in the countryside of England, there were lots of little bunny rabbits or little critters or cats or whatever. This greyhound wanted to bolt, right? So I had to hold it real tight. Okay, so elevate your career as a dog walker or pet sitter. In an age of rising pet ownership, many pet owners are turning their pets' care to professional dog walkers and pet sitters. I have a pet sitter. She is awesome, and I love her so much, and I usually try to have her stay the night so that there's somebody to cuddle the kitty and make sure all is well. As the pet care industry grows, so does the need for skilled and knowledgeable professionals. When I look up what jobs are expected to grow, pet care is a big one, because that's something that robots can't do yet, not yet. So one way to stand out in this competitive field is through obtaining pet certifications, as well as downloading the free Red Cross Pet First Aid app. And I will download that. And if you follow the link in the description, you can see this article, and you too can get the app. This article explores the significance of pet certifications, courses for dog walkers, and the importance of pet sitter training. Why pursue pet certifications? Pet certifications are helpful for anyone looking to set up a professional career in pet care, particularly as a dog walker or pet sitter. There are several compelling reasons to consider obtaining these certifications. Professional credibility. Certifications illustrate to clients that you are a trained and knowledgeable professional, assuring you are committed to high standards of pet care. This credibility builds a solid reputation and attracts more clients. There's this pet sitter guy on YouTube. He lives in Florida, but he has, it's either a British or an Australian or a New Zealand accent. I don't remember, but he has one of those fancy accents. Search up DJ Babyface. Okay. And he has a pet sitting company, and watching his videos, I would totally hire him as a pet sitter. He takes it super duper seriously. He used to be a dog trainer, and now he's actually a cat trainer. Very interesting. I found him because I was looking up videos about, let me find it. Where is it? I think it's right here. Little harness. I picked this harness because of his recommendation. I want to train my cat to go for walks. So I was watching videos about that, and his video was great. So anyways, increased knowledge. Oh, competitive edge. Totally losing my place here. Let's start over. Increased knowledge. Certification programs cover various essential topics such as animal behavior, health and nutrition, and safety protocols. Competitive edge. With the growing demand for pet care services, having certifications can set you apart from others in the field. Networking opportunities. Pet certification programs often include access to a network of fellow pet care professionals. This community provides support, advice, and potential business collaborations. Emergency preparedness. Many pet certifications include pet first aid training, equipping you to handle pet emergencies effectively. Knowing how to respond to health issues or accidents enhances the safety of the pets in your care and boosts your confidence as a caregiver. Growth. Pursuing pet certifications involves continuous learning, which empowers personal growth and professional development. Client trust. Clients are more likely to trust a care provider with pet certifications, which inspires long-term relationships, repeat business, and referrals. I need to pull up a little thing to take notes because I need to see if they have something that is specific for emergency preparedness, because everybody should have an emergency plan. What is your plan if there's a fire, earthquake, tornado, tsunami, alien invasion, all that jazz? What's your plan for your pets? And do you have have you ever heard of a go-to, but no, not a go-to bag. I forget what it's, a bug out bag. That is like having a backpack that has everything you would need, that if you need to leave in an emergency super, super quick, it has, extra medications, blah, 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 blah. Well, you should have a bug out bag for your pets as well. Okay, so emergency preparedness for disasters. All right, I'm adding that to my notes. Did I already talk about all this? I think I did. Client trust. Clients are more likely to trust a care provider with pet certifications, which inspires long-term relationships, repeat business, and referrals. Pet CPR and first aid. Pets are part of the family, and just like learning first aid, I know first aid and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR, I'm certified, skills for adults and children allows you to care for your family. Learning essential first aid for your cats and dogs can help you best care for them. Do you have a first aid kit at home? Do you have, medications, even ones that you might not need right now, but you might need in the future? Does anybody else remember when COVID happened and you would go to the cold and flu aisle and everything was out? Well, I was already set up. I already had cold and flu medicine just in case. So, a little stethoscope. One of the topics you may learn about by enrolling in a PET CPR and PET First Aid certification program, and the one I'm doing through American Red Cross is only $25, include animal vital signs, common poison identification, respiratory, am I saying that right? Conditions, cardiac emergencies, preventative care, wound treatment. When it comes to poison, my friend had a medication, and it was like a super duper common over-the-counter medication. I can't remember what it was. It might have, I forget, but it was something where you peel, and the little peel was fell on her bathroom floor, and her cat licked it, and the cat almost died. She had to call poison control, take it to a middle of the night emergency vet, but just from her cat accidentally licking the wrapping of an over-the-counter medication, it seriously poisoned her cat, but the cat survived. How to administer PET CPR. Check for breathing and a heartbeat. This can be helpful. If you do not see the pet's chest moving and cannot find a heartbeat, begin CPR with chest compressions. Give chest compressions. The placement of your hands will vary depending on the animal's size. Push hard and fast at 100 to 120 compressions per minute. Ooh. One and 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 one and. I'm thinking that's about it. One and because pets' hearts beat a lot faster than our human hearts. Compressing 1/3 to 1/2 the width of your pet's chest. Make sure the chest comes back entirely, it recoils before compressing again. So you want to go boom, 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 boom. You don't want to be like, right? Give rescue breaths. They're not demonstrating here. It'd be nice to have it demonstrated because I've not been certified before, but I believe like you put your mouth over their whole mouth and nose. Continue CPR. Check again for breathing and a heartbeat. Get help. Continue CPR until you reach a veterinary hospital. And you should have, remember in the old days, you'd open up the cupboard and there'd be a piece of paper, and because we all had landlines, there were all the important phone numbers that you needed. There might even be a phone tree in case of an emergency. A phone tree for you young kids would be names, numbers, and they're in an order. So the person before you would call you, because this is before texts. You can't just group text everybody. They'd call you, and then your job is to call the person after you. And church or school or whatever group you're in would have a phone tree as a way to dispense information. But on this list, your little emergency list on the back of your cupboard in your kitchen should be the closest 24-hour emergency vet clinic, because those are different than just your run-of-the-mill vet clinics where you make an appointment and you go in for spays and neuters. You need to know where is the 24-hour like triage, like ER for pets. Hi, number 2 with fries. Hello, I'm having a great day. I taught a line dance earlier. I got all that dopamine. Wobble, baby, baby, wobble, wobble, wobble. Okay, be prepared for any pet emergency. Pets can face unexpected emergencies, like their owners and caregivers, requiring swift action and knowledge, from sudden illness to accidents. The unpredictability of life can put pets in vulnerable situations. Being prepared for these emergencies is essential for their health and safety and your peace of mind. There are several American Red Cross courses to consider, especially for those considering pet sitter training or courses for dog walkers. Download the Pet First Aid app. In addition to formal pet certifications, there are practical tools that can help you in your pet care career. For example, the Red Cross has a free Pet First Aid app putting veterinary advice for emergencies and everyday pet care in the palm of your hand with videos, interactive quizzes, and simple step-by-step advice. Pet First Aid has never been more accessible. Cat, oh, if you want to get that app, text Get Pet, GETPET, to 90999. And again, the link is in the description if you want to read this article and get this app, and click the link to do the course that I'm going to do. Cat and Dog First Aid Online. Learn the basics of providing first aid care for your cat or dog and learn how to give care for everyday emergencies. This 35-minute online course covers understanding your pet's vital signs, breathing and cardiac emergencies, wounds, bleeding seizures, and preventative care for cats and dogs. Pet certifications, FAQs. Should I pursue pet sitter training? And it's interesting that they're gearing this towards pet sitter. I think that all pet parents should do this. And I think I hear my cat. Anyways, pet sitter training certifications offer unique benefits and commitments: time, energy, money, or a combination. The cost and time commitment for obtaining these pet certifications can vary, so it's important to research and plan accordingly. However, the investment in pet certifications can be a great way to boost your credibility and help you stand out from your competitors. How long does pet sitter training and pet first aid certification takes? Blah, blah, blah. Do you need a license or certification to be a dog walker? Blah, blah, blah. Who needs pet certifications? Blah, blah, blah. What to read next? CPR for pets. All right, so this is more in depth, and this is free information via this article. Pets are part of the family, and just like learning first aid and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, blah, 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 this is the same intro as the last one. Okay, so 1, check for breathing and a heartbeat. Check to see if the pet is breathing and check for a heartbeat. If you do not see your pet's chest moving and cannot find a heartbeat, begin CPR with chest compressions. Give chest compressions. Place your hands on your pet as follows. Hold on, I have a little tool. This is Sprocket. This is Sprocket from Fraggle Rock. Let's use him. For cats, small dogs, and deep-chested dogs, place the heel of one of your hands directly over the pet's heart and place your other hand directly over the first hand. Do you even know where your pet's heart is? Like in their little rib cage? This definitely makes me want to look up anatomy. I mean, I know it's in there, but I know I hear you, honey. Oh, my baby. For barrel-chested dogs, place the dog on its back, place one hand over the widest part of the sternum, and place your other hand directly over the first hand. Lock your elbows and make sure your shoulders are directly above your hands. So I wouldn't say that the sternum is where their ribs end and their tummy meets, just like the human, that'd be where our diaphragm is. Their sternum would be, I don't know. See, this is good. We need to do homework. We need to find out, I'm putting that in my notes, where generally is the heart? Where is the heart of a cat or dog? for CPR. I'll look that up later. You know, like, do you put it by the throat here? Okay. Then push hard and push fast at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute, compressing 1/3 to 1/2 the width of your pet's chest. So the chest is this big, 1/2. Ugh. Make sure the chest comes back fully, recoils before compressing again. Perform 30 chest compressions. Then give rescue breaths. To give rescue breaths, gently close the pet's mouth and extend the pet's neck to open the airway. That's the same thing for humans. Cover your pet's nose with your mouth and exhale until you see the pet's chest rise. Give a second rescue breath. Okay, so it's not that you put your whole mouth over, but what if they're little? What if they're like a little cat or a little chihuahua? I used to have a little tiny chihuahua. Be kind of hard to get a little tiny harmonica, you know? Continue CPR. Continue giving CPR with a cycle of 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths until your dog or cat begins breathing again on its own. Check again for breathing and a heartbeat. Briefly check for breathing and a heartbeat every 2 minutes. Get help. Continue CPR until you reach a veterinary hospital. Learn more by taking a dog and cat first aid online course today. And that's the course that I am going to do. Let's go back though. The clacking here is my dog talking. All right, so I'm going to do the course. Oh, baby. Hold on 1 second. I need to get my cat. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Oh, okay. She wants to join us. Not really. She wants to look out the special window. Go look at the bugs, the birds. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Oh, you can see her butt. Hi. You want to come to my lap? Aw, purring. Aw, she's purring. Oh, baby. Okay, here we go. The course. So you have to pay for the course. It's $25. Oh my goodness, she just took this. How funny. She wants to eat it. Should we? All right. Going to the Learning Center. Okay. Wait, 120 minutes? That's 2 hours. Well, I guess I'll just do part of it and then I'll click in later. I hope it lets you click in more than once. We'll find out. Launch. All right, takes you to a page where it says, Introduction. Cat and Dog First Aid. Introduction. Okay, so pets are members of the family, so of course you want to be prepared to help them in emergency situations. This course will cover some core topics to be prepared to help your cats and dogs through some common emergency situations. To start off, we'll go over how to recognize normal baseline vital signs. All right. Knowing what's normal, lesson objectives. It will be easier to recognize what is abnormal for your pet if you first become familiar with what is normal. In this section, we'll cover some basic ways to check your pet's vital signs so you can confidently identify any abnormalities. After this lesson, you will be able to understand basic baseline vital signs for your pets. Determine if there are any abnormalities in your pet's vital signs that could be a concern. Breathing rate. Your pet's breathing rate can help in determining if there are any respiratory abnormalities. In order to determine your pet's breathing rate, watch your pet and observe how many times their chest rises and falls in 1 minute. Dog, normal breathing rate, 10 to 30 breaths per minute or up to 200 pants per minute, breathing with mouth open and tongue out. Cat, normal breathing rate, 20 to 30 breaths per minute. Okay, so I briefly worked at a vet hospital and I was just a vet assistant. That's a nobody. And I remember them teaching us that it's kind of hard to sit there for a whole minute to do this. So a minute divided by 10 seconds is 6, right? So 30 divided by 6 is 5. So 5 breaths in a 10-second, and part of the job requirements is to have a watch, not a digital, but an old analog watch, because you have to be timing things. So yeah, you could do for 10 seconds, if there were 5 breaths in 10 seconds, 5 times 6 is 30. Yep, that's for a dog and a cat. It says cats are 20 to 30 breaths per minute, dogs are 10 to 30. Now, why the big difference? I'd say probably size. Little lungs are going, and little hearts are going to be moving faster than bigger hearts and bigger lungs. So the heart rate and the breathing rate of a giant Great Dane is going to be different than a little tiny toy poodle. Capillary refill. Capillary refill time, CRT, is used to assess your pet's circulation. In order to test it for yourself, press your finger against your pet's gums with a finger and release the pressure. For cats and dogs, it should take anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds to return to its normal pink color. A prolonged CRT may indicate your pet may be in or going into shock. I'm not going to do this to her right now. That'd bother her. So their gums are, and you should know what their gums look like when they're just normal and healthy, because when they're not healthy, their gums are going to get very pale because there's not as much blood right there. And so this is saying to press the gum, and when you press on it, it gets white. Then when you release it, how long does it take for it to come back to that pink color? Dehydration. Dehydration is a common condition that should be taken seriously. Some causes of dehydration include not eating or drinking, vomiting, diarrhea, and increased urination. If left untreated, severe dehydration can cause serious organ damage or even death. You can determine if your pet is dehydrated by pulling up on the skin between their shoulder blades. Upon letting go, the skin should spring right back in place. If it stays tented, this can be a sign of dehydration. Note, older animals' skin may stay tented for a bit longer as they lose elasticity in their skin with age. And older cats, I was just reading, older cats are very prone to dehydration. And if you feed your pets only dry food, they are probably dehydrated. You really should feed them wet food. The saying is the worst wet food on the market is a better option than the best dry food on the market. And if you do give them dry food, you could add water so that it helps rehydrate it. But let's see if you can see her. Let's see. Let's try tension it up. And it jumped right back down because I add boiled water to her food. It doesn't make her food hot, it just increases the temperature so that it's like she's just eating a nice fresh kill. And it adds water. Yes, she gets raw food and other stuff. Temperature. Ooh, shows a cat butt with a thermometer going in. I don't have a thermometer just for my pets. I need to add that. It's my notes. I need that for my emergency kit. Pet thermometer. Okay. Typically, an elevated temperature can be indicative of infection or inflammation and can signify serious health issues. Apply water-based lubricant or petroleum jelly, like Vaseline, to a digital thermometer and gently insert the instrument into your pet's rectum, just below the tail. When the thermometer beeps, remove the instrument and read the number. Normal. Honey, that's not a pet toy and it has like beads in it. You can't have it. Normal body temperature for both cats and dogs can be between 99.5 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Because we're in America. We don't talk in Celsius here. You take that smart stuff elsewhere. Checking heartbeat. You can feel your pet's heartbeat at the point where their left elbow touches their chest about the fifth rib up. So, okay. Left elbow. From their perspective, from the doggy's perspective, this is his left elbow. Not from your perspective, from the doggy's perspective. So where their elbow meets, like in that armpit. Hey, what you doing? In that armpit. It's showing the dog on the side, in that armpit. And it says about the fifth rib. Lay your pet on their right side, from their perspective, the dog's right, and place your hand over this area to feel and count heartbeats. But this makes it a million times easier. Checking pulse. You can check your pet's pulse rate by laying them down and touching your middle and index fingers to the inside of their upper hind leg. Lift the leg away from the lower hind leg and place your two fingers as high up as possible, just where the leg meets the body wall. This recess is where the blood vessel runs and where you'll find the pulse. So the dog is on its side and you lift its leg up, and here's its genitals, and then the little area between its stuff and its leg is where you put those two fingers. And you find the pulse. Normal heart and pulse rate by pet. Heart rates outside these ranges could signal an emergency. For a puppy less than 1 year old, 120 to 160 beats per minute. So it says outside of this range. So they should have 120 to 160. This is why the app is helpful, because this is a lot of information. Small breed dog, 100 to 140 beats per minute. Medium to large breed dog, 60 to 100 beats per minute. Cats, 160 to 220 beats per minute. Someone's asking, what's happening here. I am just talking through an online pet CPR and first aid course that I'm taking. The link is in the description. It's $25 if you'd like to take it through the American Red Cross, so that you're more trained to handle an emergency. And I don't know my heart rate to know my pet. They have an app. If you click the link, there is a free app you can put on your phone, so that all this information is just right on your phone in case of an emergency. That's the cat you're waiting for. A Sphinx, or in Russia, they're called a Donskoy. Um, I got Smooshy for free when she was 3 years old. Her original owner had a health issue and was told by the doctor to get rid of the pets. So, yeah. And she had a brother who passed away in May. And guess what? I will announce it right now. She is getting a little brother kitten. I'm getting him on Sunday. So she's going to have a little brother again, because I don't want her to be alone. All right. So for the heart rate and pulse, too slow or elevated pulse can be indicative of serious health disorders. If you notice a heart rate or pulse that is too slow or elevated, you should take your pet to the veterinarian for an examination. Click the labels to learn about how to check heart rate and pulse. We already did that. And learn about normal heart rates for cats and dogs. Nice. Mucous membrane, that's the gums. Your pet's mucous membranes are the inner cheeks and gums. Pull back your pet's lips and examine their gums. A healthy mucous membrane would be pink and moist. If the gums are pale, white, or any other color, this can be indicative of serious health issues and emergencies in which you should seek immediate professional care. Dry, sticky, or tacky filling gums are indicators of dehydration. Knowledge check. What is capillary refill time used to assess? The happiness? No. Circulation? No. Pulse rate? No. Dehydration? Circulation. My bad. It can be a sign of dehydration, but yes, circulation, because it'll let you know if blood flow is coming to that area. That's correct. The amount of time taken, no more than 2 seconds, for the color to return to the gums or cheeks of your pet, is indicative of healthy circulation. Knowledge check. What color should a healthy mucous membrane be? Yellow, blue, white, or pink? Pink. That's correct. A healthy pink color is indicative of good health for your pet. White could be that there's no blood in that area. Blue, we associate that with having no oxygen, right? People when like they're asphyxiating, they turn blue. Yellow could be what's that called? Jaundice, which is you basically have these toxins that are building up in your body because your kidneys or liver, one of the two, I think it's your kidneys, are failing. Next up, now that you understand how to check for some basic vital signs, we're going to dive into recognizing breathing and cardiac emergencies. This next section will go over checking for these serious situations and how to provide emergency first aid. Breathing and heart problems are life-threatening emergencies. When seconds count, you won't have time to look up information, so it's crucial to know how to respond before such an emergency occurs. In this lesson, we'll go over what to do in breathing and cardiac emergencies with your pets. After this lesson, you will be able to check your pet's airways, breathing, and circulation. Perform CPR on your pets. Determine if your pet is choking and what steps to take to help your pet. Note, please don't practice this on conscious and healthy pets. So Smooshy will not be our model today. Um, click the nodes on the left to learn the different steps in assessing your pet's health. Checking the ABCs of your pet is essential in providing care for them. Check the airway, check the breathing, check the circulation, check the airway. With the pet on its side, well, now you're on my little model. I had Sprocket as my model. We'll use the little moose. With your pet on its side, tilt the head back. So just like a human in CPR, you actually tilt the chin up and back so that you're not all crunched in. You want to elongate their esophagus, their trachea, whatever that is. Yeah. Okay, so but they on the pet, you do it on the side. So lengthen it. Pull the tongue out. Use your finger to check for a foreign object in their throat. And you want to not go directly in. This is the same for humans. You don't want to go directly in because you could just shove something in. You want to go side, scoop out, side, scoop out. Move your finger in a sweeping motion so as to not push foreign objects further back into the throat. Yeah, I called it. Check breathing. Rescue breaths are used when your pet is not breathing and needs assistance in getting oxygen. Check to see if the pet is breathing. If not, then begin rescue breathing. Gently close the pet's mouth and extend the neck to open the airway. Cover the nose with your mouth and exhale until you see the pet's chest rise. Give a rescue breath over 1 second. Check circulation. If your pet's heart has stopped beating, you need to start chest compressions. Check for the heartbeat using the skills learned earlier in this course. If absent, perform chest compressions explained in the CPR section. So, from their perspective, their left arm, lay them on their side, feel right here about the fifth rib, or lift up their leg, feel right on the inner crook of their leg. Here we go. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, is used to help your pet by trying to preserve blood flow to the brain and heart. When done properly, CPR may help your pet survive longer in emergency situations until professional help can be given to your pet. CPR should only be delivered after determining that your pet is not breathing properly and has no circulation by checking their ABCs. Performing CPR. Follow the ABCs. Open the pet's airway and check to see if there is a foreign object blocking the airway, which would need to be removed. And they say, pull the tongue out, swipe and swoop. If the pet's airway is clear, check for breathing and a pulse. If you cannot find breathing or a pulse after 15 seconds, begin to perform CPR with chest compressions. And this shows her giving the chest compressions on the side. So the animal's on her side. Chest compressions. Cats and small dogs less than 15 pounds. One-handed technique. Wrap your hand around sternum at the level of the heart with your thumb on the upside and the rest of the fingers underneath. So thumb on top and fingers underneath, right below the arm. Two-handed technique. Place one hand over the other with the heel of the hand directly over the heart. Lock the elbows or your shoulders. Lock the elbows. Your shoulders should be above the hands. Compress 1/3 to 1/2 the width of the chest. Make sure the chest fully recoils before compressing again. So that's the same with humans. Your shoulders are right above your hands, and you overlock, and you use your whole body. You're not going like this. You use your whole body. And that's probably definitely for like a large dog, big old Great Dane. Chest compressions, medium, large, round chested dogs, golden retrievers, German shepherds, Rottweilers, my pit bull. Place one hand over the other with the heel of the hand should be placed on the highest or widest part of their chest. Lock the elbows. Your shoulders should be above the hands. Compress 1/3 to 1/2 the width of the chest. Make sure the chest fully recoils before compressing again. So 1/3 or 1/2, and you have to fully let it go back out. In, out. Chest compressions, medium, large, deep, narrow keel chested dogs, greyhounds, Doberman pinchers. Place one hand over the other with the heel of the hand directly over the heart. Lock the elbows. Your shoulders should be above the hands. Compress 1/3 to 1/2 the width of the chest. Make sure the chest fully recoils before compressing again. How is that different than the other dogs? It's I don't I don't see a difference. I don't think there's a difference between those two. Chest compressions, barrel flat chested dogs like Boston Terriers, Pug, French Bulldogs. Place the dog on its back. Place one hand over the other with the heel of the hand on the highest part of the sternum. Lock the elbows. Your shoulders should be above the hands. Compress 1/3 to 1/2 the width of the chest, making sure the chest fully recoils before compressing again. So these dogs would be on their back when you do that. And they're not mentioning it here, but I've taken human CPR courses a lot since like 1999. Uh, I've taught dance and fitness for years, and they require it. Um, they say, don't be afraid, ribs are going to break. And having some broken ribs is a lot better than being dead. So they're not saying that for this, but if you're doing that to a little dog, I mean, you might break a rib, but you want it to get that heart pumping. Make sure the chest fully recoils before compressing again. Perform cycles of 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths. Perform chest compressions at a rate of 100 to 120 per minute. So 120 would be 2 pumps per second. Gently close the pet's mouth and extend the neck to open the airway. Cover the nose with your mouth and exhale until you see the pet's chest rise. Give a rescue breath over 1 second. Briefly check for a heartbeat and spontaneous breathing every 2 minutes. Continue CPR until you reach a veterinary hospital. Well, that's difficult. How are you supposed to be driving them to the pet hospital? I guess they're assuming that you have someone with you. Too bad we don't have like a 911 for pets. Choking. Choking occurs when either food or toys have gotten stuck inside your pet's throat and is obstructing airflow. I know this has happened to someone. I know someone who's this happened to their dog, and someone else who it happened to their cat. This can quickly become fatal if your pet is unable to start breathing again soon. Signs that your pet may be choking include anxiousness, acting frantic, lack of breathing, bluish or white gums, loud or struggled breathing, and pawing at their mouth. Aww. Treating choking. The goal in treating choking is to remove any foreign objects that may be lodged in your pet's throat. First approach, open the mouth and pull the tongue. So you, probably not on their back. If it's on the side, less likely of something going back in. On the side. Same thing with humans. If you find a drunk person who's passed out and they've vomited, make sure they're on their side. Not, they say to put one hand here, one hand there, top leg over, bottom leg straight, so that they're not going to roll into their back again. That's a choking hazard for drunk people. Open the mouth and pull the tongue forward. Sweep inside with your finger to dislodge an object if your pet allows. Be cautious not to get bitten if your pet is frantic. Be careful not to push the object back further. And there can be medical issues going on that are going to make them bite. That it's not because they're angry or whatever, just they're having, involuntary movements. So you got to be careful. Make sure you have your rabies vaccination. Perform 5 rapid abdominal thrusts, lifting up, inward and upward, inward and upward, inward and upward, under where the ribs end and their belly is. Stand behind or lift the dog with their spine against your chest. Wrap your arms under their ribs. Make a fist with one hand and place your other hand over it. Deliver abdominal thrusts. Same thing as with the human. Second approach. If the object does not come out, suspend the pet by the hips with the head hanging down. If they are too heavy to hold, lift their hind legs up. Lift their hind legs up. Use the palm of your hand to give 5 sharp blows between their shoulder blades. And I'm pretty sure this is another for like babies and infants who are choking. This is another one for them. Hi, you want to play with that? After each step, check the mouth for the object if it has not come out. If your pet has stopped breathing, give rescue breaths on your way to the veterinary hospital. Monitor the heartbeat and start chest compressions if necessary. And let's say it's something long, like a sock or a plastic bag, something long. You might see that part of it has started to come out. That's why you need to check so that you can grab it and pull. And when you pull, you got to pull really gentle. You don't want to cut anything. Knowledge check. To begin giving rescue breaths, you need to first close your pet's mouth and extend its neck. False. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about choking. I'm not the world's best. To begin giving rescue breaths, you need to first close your pet's mouth and extend its, yes. True. Close its mouth. Closing your pet's mouth and extending its neck allows a straight pathway for air to reach the lungs during rescue breaths. Yes. Knowledge check. What ratio should compressions and rescue breaths be delivered during pet CPR? 30 compressions, 2 rescue breaths, 60, 15, 10, it's 30. 30 compressions, 2 rescue breaths. That's right. Every 30 chest compressions should be followed by 2 rescue breaths during CPR for your pets. Next up, you're all set on checking your pet's ABCs, air, breathing, circulation, and performing CPR in emergency situations. Now we'll cover caring for different types of wounds your pet may experience. Lesson objectives. Different types of wounds can result in different types of complications and require varying types of care. Understanding the types of wounds your pet might get can help you in providing care for them. In this lesson, you'll learn the differences between different types of common injuries and what to do to help take care of your pet. After this lesson, you will be able to understand how to care for and control bleeding, understand how to dress and care for wounds on your pet. Bleeding. There are two types of serious bleeding. Arterial bleeding, characterized by rhythmically spurting blood, is more rapid and profuse and therefore more difficult to stop. Venal bleeding is slower, maybe less profuse. It is much easier to stop and less dangerous unless a large vein is involved. Apply direct pressure using gauze over the bleeding site. If blood soaks through, apply more gauze. Direct pressure is the safest way to stop bleeding until you can reach your veterinary hospital. Well, let's say someone I know who was snowboarding and their dog would run down the mountain while they snowboarded. He had this adventure dog, and his snowboard, the sides are practically like blades. The dog got too close to him and the blade cut his dog seriously, and he had to rush the dog to a vet hospital. You don't have any gauze, so take clothing and use clothing. If blood is spurting, hold the area just above the wound with your hand. If it is, let's say it's spurting out here, close above it. Spurting here, above it. Here's the heart, above. If it is flowing heavily but not spurting, hold the area just below the site. Hand positions may help close off the blood vessels. So if it's spurting, let's say the wound is right in the middle of the arm, you're supposed to hold above it. But if it's not spurting, you're supposed to hold below it. That's why we need the app, y'all. Wrap gauze or other soft material around the wound and secure with tape. Check for swelling. Check repeatedly for swelling above and below the bandage, which indicates your bandage is too tight and you need to loosen it. Elevate the wound if the leg does not seem to be broken. Continue to apply direct pressure. By elevating it, it makes it harder for the heart to pump blood to it. Just like with a human, like if your wrist, put your arm up, because now the blood has to fight gravity. Take your pet to the vet immediately. Once the wound has been secured, a veterinarian's assistance is required to make sure the wound is taken care of to heal properly. And that's why the closest vet emergency clinic is on our emergency phone number list. Abrasions, scrapes to the skin to top layers can be shallow and heal easily, or large and more serious. Your dog may lick or scratch the area, which may appear red or ooze blood. To care for an abrasion, follow these steps. Apply a sterile, water-soluble lubricant, like Vaseline, and clip hair. I need to add that to my CPR kit. And hair clip around the womb with grooming clippers. Oh, not a hair clip. Okay, apply a sterile, water-soluble lubricant and clip the hair around the wound with grooming clippers. The lubricant will keep hair from contaminating the wound while you shave the area, because the hair is dirty. Flush and wash the wound with warm water or saline solution, which is salt water. This will remove the lubricant and wash away any remaining dirt or debris. Call your vet to discuss the wound. Bite wounds. If you did not observe the bite when it occurred, signs include a small wound or puncture in the skin, swelling, bleeding, and bruising. Other systemic signs include lethargy and anorexia if left untreated. Has anybody ever had a cat that had a bite that got an abscess? Not fun. That's why you always check for bites if your cat gets into a fight. Their hair can disguise it. Pets bitten by other animals need veterinary attention to prevent the wound, regardless how large or small, from getting infected. Seriously. Smaller pets may be shaken by bigger animals during a bite, which can result in internal injuries. All bite wounds should be evaluated, as there can be substantial injury underneath the superficial wound. Bite wound infections usually appear 1 to 2 days after the incident. Such signs include fever, lethargy, loss of appetite, pain in the affected area, and swelling or abscesses near the wound. Yep. Lacerations are long or deep cuts that will most likely result in bleeding. Lacerations need to be taken care of immediately so that they may be able to heal properly. Check your pet's ABCs, their airway, their breathing, and their circulation, and perform CPR if needed. Stop the bleeding with direct pressure. For small wounds, flush and wash with warm water or saline solution. Cover the area with a clean cloth and seek veterinary care. Many lacerations will require sutures or stitches. Pad wounds. Pad, and that's for their feet. Their little pads on their feet. Pad wounds are typically caused by stepping on sharp objects, such as glass or thorns. Apply direct pressure if bleeding. Wash the area with warm soapy water or saline solution. Once the area has been cleaned, dry the foot. Place tape stirrups. Bandage the foot by placing a strip of adhesive tape on each side of the foot, starting several inches above the wound and extending several inches past the bottom of the foot. The tape should go directly on the fur. This tape acts like stirrups to hold the bandage in place. Okay, so here's the pad on the bottom. It's saying that you take tape and go like this on the fur, not on the pad, but on the fur, and then that will hold. Place the gauze. Place a non-stick pad or gauze sponge over the wound, so that goes on the pad. Wrap the paw with gauze roll. That's called vet wrap. I have it in my kit. It's good for humans too. It's this awesome tape that it sticks to itself, and then it comes right off. And when it comes off, it doesn't pull their hair. It doesn't rip their hair. So place a nonstick pad or gauze sponge over the wound, and then wrap the paw with gauze roll, vet wrap, starting from the toes and ending just above the ankle or wrist. Pull the ends of the sticky tape, the stirrup, over the end of the gauze roll bandage as far as it will go, with the sticky part twisted to face and adhere to the bandage. Okay, so you got sticky, put a pad, vet wrap. You take that sticky tape, twist it, put it here, twist it, put it here. That is awesome. Wrap up the area. Place an elastic or cling roll bandage over the cotton, working from the toes to the wrist or ankle. Make sure you pull the cling roll out before placing it so that it is not too tight. Make sure the bandage is not too tight by checking for swelling in the toes or above the bandage, and take your pet to a veterinary hospital. How's that different than what you just did, though? Gauze, stirrup, pad, vet wrap, secure that over it to hold it. Knowledge check. How should pet wounds be washed? With warm, soapy water or saline solution. With cold, soapy water or saline solution. Wounds should not be washed. Warm, soapy water. That's correct. Warm, soapy water or saline solution is the optimal way to clean out wounds. Knowledge check. Wounds do not need to be checked on or consulted by a veterinarian after you've bandaged them. False. That's correct. After providing immediate care to your pet, you should always seek veterinary attention for your pet. Next step. Now you understand the different types of wounds and bleeding situations that your pet may encounter. Remember, your vet should be paid a visit after you've provided first aid for these situations. Next, we'll go over seizures, how they happen, and what you need to do during and after them. Lesson objectives. Seizures can be a scary experience for pet owners. So it's important to be as prepared as possible in case they occur in your pet. While there isn't much you can do to help your pet during a seizure, there are steps to take to make sure they are safe. In this lesson, there's like some typos in this thing. You'll be given instructions on what to do before, during, and after your pet has a seizure. After this lesson, you will be able to understand some of the causes of seizures and what they look like when they do. Ensure your pet is safe during their seizure. Know when to bring your pet to the vet and what to do after your pet has a seizure. Seizure general information. Seizures can be the result of problems in the brain, central nervous system, or outside of the brain. Central nervous system, idiopathic epilepsy, infection or inflammation in the brain, vascular accident, bleed or clot, brain tumors, head trauma, malformation of the brain, birth defect, scar tissue in the brain. Non-central nervous system. Some causes include low blood sugar, low blood calcium, organ failure, poisoning. During an active seizure, your pet will often fall over, twitch, urinate, defecate, and drool. In some cases, called a grand mal seizure, your pet may fall over and be stiff and rigid. Who's calling me? I'm not going to answer that. Some seizures may look like your pet is just staring into space or biting at invisible things, which is called a chewing gum seizure. Tips for seizures. After a seizure, The animal may be disoriented, walk into walls, or appear to be blind. Note that cats and dogs may also behave normally after a seizure. Make sure your pet is in a safe place. Do not attempt to restrain your pet. Allow them to have space without any objects or furniture nearby that may injure them. Keep your hands away from your pet's mouth and do not disturb them. Your pet may not know who you are during the seizure and may bite you in response. You do not need to worry about trying to hold their tongue during the seizure. Your pet will not swallow their tongue. This is like all the same information for human seizures. Call your vet and bring your pet to the vet if this is your pet's first seizure, the seizure lasts longer than 3 to 4 minutes, your pet is not recovering from the seizure, your pet has had multiple seizures in a 24-hour period. Medication. If a specific cause is found, your pet will be started on medication for it. Anti-seizure medication does not cure the cause of seizures. It helps to reduce the frequency or severity of episodes. Despite being on medication, your pet will likely experience future seizures and will need future trips to the vet. Keeping a log of seizures. Keeping a log of your pet's seizures will help keep track of important data for your vet to help treat the condition. Include information such as the date, time of day, time after their last meal, and how long the active phase of the seizure lasts. Knowledge check. How long does anti-seizure medication prevent seizures from occurring? They will prevent future seizures forever. No. They may not prevent future seizures, but decrease the frequency and severity. They will 100% prevent future seizures for a specified period of time, depending on dosage. No, we're going to say, yeah, they may not prevent future seizures, but decrease the frequency and severity of seizures. That's right. While being able to help symptoms and create a more comfortable life for your pet, medication cannot guarantee that your pet will not have another seizure. Select each option that can lead to seizures: low blood sugar, organ failure, birth defects, poisoning, epilepsy, brain tumors. That's right, all of these options can cause seizures. Next up, at this point in the course, you've been introduced to different types of emergency situations that you may face as a pet owner. Up next, we'll discuss how to provide preventative care to promote health and well-being for your pets so that they may live long and happy lives. Swoosh, swoosh. She's so cute. Just gonna go look out the window. Lesson objectives. It's important to make sure your pet's life is full of love, fun, and well-being. With a few easy steps, you can ensure you're caring for your pet in the best way possible. After this lesson, you will be able to understand how to properly take care of your pet, keep your pet healthy, and increase chances of avoiding illness. Vets. Pet owners should take their pets to a veterinarian for checkups at least once a year. For older pets, twice a year is recommended to stay on top of any illnesses that may develop with age. Your vet can give your pet a body condition score, which can help adjust or maintain a healthy lifestyle for your pet. Nutrition and exercise. Good nutrition and plenty of exercise are the best ways to keep pets fit and trim. The main goal in pet nutrition and health is to maintain a desirable body condition score, BCS, which will vary based on species, age, and special considerations per pet. Consult your vet on what sort of diet and health strategies your pet should be on. Taking to the vet. When acquiring pets of any age, schedule a checkup with a vet as soon as possible. Ensure vaccinations are up to date. Pets, especially those that go outdoors, can get internal parasites. Bring a stool sample during yearly checkups. Pets will hide signs of illness. Yearly checkups will help determine if other diagnostic tests are needed to uncover illnesses, particularly in older pets, like kidney disease, liver disease, anemia, hyperthyroidism, etc. At home. Hi, Smosh Smosh. Always provide an abundance of fresh water. Don't allow your pets to roam outside alone in order to prevent injury. Stay up to date with flea and heartworm medication. Put a sticker on your front window so that rescuers know to search for animals in the event of an emergency. I'm going to put that in my notes. My friend has that on her front door. I need to add that so that if firemen show up, they know that this house has a cat and a dog. Um, Sometimes cats can go hide. They're not, going to just run out the door or run out a window. So they have to go find them. Oh, that reminds me. There's this cool thing I saw that, let's say your dog has a certain dog crate and it's its home, it's its little safe spot. Often in an emergency, when the fire alarm is going off and the dog is all scared and disoriented, it'll go to that area. And this is like a smoke alarm thing that would be on the crate or the little, whatever your dog's safe space is. And when it detects that there's a fire, it will have a bright light so that in a dark, smoky house, firemen, when they go in, they'll see that light and it will direct them to the crate where the dog is if you're somebody who crates your dog. I just saw that. You know how it is. The internet recommends things to you because it is always listening and it knows I have pets. Cats like to hide and nap in warm, cozy places like chimneys, dryers, engines, sofas, beds, etc. Double check these things before using them. Pets require exercise. Depending on your dog's breed, they may require varying amounts of exercise. Cats should get about 15 to 20 minutes of exercise a day. Grooming. If your pet has short hair, regularly check for external parasites, skin problems, and ear problems. Check with your vet on the best way to trim and maintain your pet's nails. Brush and groom your pet regularly. Different breeds with different fur types require different amounts of grooming attention. For example, longer hair pets should be groomed once a week. All of our modern breeds of cats and dogs are man-made, and the long hair is not natural, and it has to be groomed. That it's we bred long hair into cats and dogs, so we are responsible for grooming. For long-haired cats, an easy solution is to have them get groomed into what's called a lion cut, where like their whole body is shaved, but you keep their hair, their paws, their tail long. Being prepared for emergency. In the event of an emergency, it's important to have a plan and be prepared on what to do to take care of your pet. First, make sure your pet has current identification, including a collar with an ID tag and microchip. Hey, all the cool kids are doing air tags. You put one of those air tags on your cat's collar, and then you really know where they're at. Having your veterinarian's phone number readily available and knowing the most efficient way to get to the nearest emergency or 24-hour hospital is critical in being able to provide immediate care for your pet. Finally, it is important to have an emergency supply kit that is stored in a waterproof container. The following is a list of recommended items to include in this kit: sturdy leashes, harnesses, and or carriers to transport pets safely, food, drinking water, bowls, cat litter pan, and a manual can opener if your pets eat canned food, medications and copies of medical records, including dates of vaccines, a first aid kit, current photos of you with your pets in case they get lost, information on feeding schedules, and medical. How often should pets be brought to the vet? And it says when they are young, only for their vaccinations, only when sick, at least once a year. That's the answer. Pets should be taken to their vet at least once a year. Consider going more often than that for older pets or pets with certain conditions. Grooming and exercise should be a regular activity in any kind of pet's life. True. That's correct. Speaking of that, Miss Smooshy, you need a bath. She needs a bath. Keeping your pets healthy and happy help lead to long and comfortable lives. Next up, you made it. You now have a solid understanding in what it takes to be the owner of a healthy pet. Take the following assessment to check on how much information you've retained. Well, I appreciate that, American Red Cross. I really do. But um, there is some information, I'm not going to get into it, but there is some information that people have different opinions on. And so I would say that most of this information, like the first aid, the CPR, that is absolutely good. But some of the other information, there's differing opinions out there. So I think people need to educate themselves further beyond just this very brief and succinct course assessment. It's going to give me a test. What's the best way to determine if your pet is dehydrated? Time how fast they can drink a bowl of water. Pull up the skin between their shoulders to test elasticity. Have them run around and see how tired they get. Check their capillary refill time. It's the tent test. In between their shoulder blades, you pull the skin up. It should go right back. That's correct. What's your pet's mucous membranes? That's their gums and cheeks. And it says the color of the skin between their toes, the residue you find in the corner of their eyes, nasal discharge when they are sick, your pet's inner cheeks and gums. Yep. What color is a healthy mucous membrane? Pink, blue, white, purple, pink. It's pink. What mnemonic device is used to check your pet's vital signs? ABC, airway, breathing, circulation. And it has PET, ABC, CPR, VIT. It's ABCs. What is the safest way to stop bleeding until you reach an animal hospital? Leave it alone to heal naturally, hoping really hard that it stops, hugging your pet to calm them down, applying direct pressure. That's the correct answer. Which of the following options would be the best to use to flush wounds? Cold water? Wounds shouldn't be flushed or cleaned. Warm water or saline solution? That's the answer. Do-do-do. What sort of things can lead to a seizure? Epilepsy, brain tumors, low blood sugar, all of these. What should be done when your pet has a seizure? Make sure your pet is in a safe space. Log the time, duration, and details of the seizure. Don't hold their tongue. All of these, all of these. How long does anti-seizure medication prevent seizures from occurring? Forever. It prevents them for a month at a time. It does not prevent them, but can decrease frequency and severity. That's the answer. How often should pets get checkups at the vet? Only when sick, at least once a year, every other year. When they are puppies or kittens, it's at least once a year. Congratulations. Great work. Click below to print your certificate. I got 100% on that test. Woohoo!